What up, my freaks? Ruinous Man Thing here with part 4 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Throt Old World campaign. Almost said Immortal Empires there. Anyway, as we saw last time, we have taken our, third is it territory out here in Dukeless Forest? Well, okay, I kind of counted the Helpet as one territory, but you know what I mean. And even then it would still be the 4th territory. But anyway, we have wiped out Sarthoriel for good, and we have closed nearly the distance with the Daughters of the Forest. Got to wipe out Mother of Stank, and by the looks of the sheer number of troops she's got around of Kazi, we're likely to get a pretty good fight out of it. And I'm sure our many wolf rats, as we saw last episode, are hungry. Anyway, let's start moving where we need to go. So Thanquol, you're headed to the Goromadni tribe, who we have decided to destroy because reasons. And okay, the way that we want to do this is this. I'm gonna go here. Thanquol, you can actually go into first circle to get the bonus public order, and then Skittus can follow. Like so. We're just gonna swap our positions a little bit so that we can continue getting the bonus public order, at least for now. Eventually we won't need it, but we do for now. Oh wow, this guy provides a, 14? Huh. I saw a 14 construction cost reduction thing. I think it was from Skittus, was it? Disciplinarian. Wait, is it actually a trait? Construction cost minus 14 for all buildings, yes. Huh, wait, how much does Thanquol have? The reason I'm curious... Okay, Thanquol won't have any. The reason I'm curious is that we may want to build some stuff here before we move out, although we don't have money. But anyway, we'll have to deal with that next turn, and next turn is now. Alright, no attacks, but that might not be super surprising. We have... Ooh, we can't lose 1,000 gold right now, unfortunately, so I think we'll have to expel the Craven. But let's give this a read. A pathetic, mewling Craven of a minion lord has come to you with news that other plots scheme to your downfall. This wretch has done well to bring this to your attention. Expel the Craven. Of course others plot plan. That is expected, as this one is a jitter tail and he wastes Ruin's time. Expel him from your presence, and hopefully he'll just get his loyalty back. Alright, there you go, bud. Let me begin post construction. Good for ally. Another breeder, another bell polisher. Yes, more bell polishers, please. And hey, 2 bell polishers, 3 bell polishers, 4 bell polishers. Okay, there we go. I think that's sufficient now, bell polishers, to have all the sorcerers that we could want in the early game in one turn. Lovely. Nemesis crown claimed for Draika. All right, well, we're going to have to hunt her down at some point. We can also confederate right now, but I think it's a waste. And we will eventually confederate some factions. I imagine this is Clan... Yeah, if this was Clan Grittus rather than Clan Creepus, I would do it, because these guys are effectively going to be bordering us in a few seconds, but we'll wait on them, and hopefully thus set up borders with the with Chaos and some of the others. And oh, they're also fighting these dwarfs. Oh, that's good. I was going to go down there, but if we don't have to, then that would also work out well for us. Anyway, and Mr. Throt, you are going to move towards Mother of Stank like so, and I do wonder... I wonder whether she'd be willing to attack us in the field, though because we're in underway stance, even if she is willing, it might be a better idea not to do that. Yeah, maybe we'll wait the turn to declare war on her. Also, you have 3 turns of Steel Tech available to you, eh? Guess we could Steel Tech again, but we're minus 1,400 right now. You know what? Maybe we can't risk it. Alrighty, now, Thanquol, can you reach Manticore Hunting Grounds in 1 turn? You cannot. Alright, so I'm going to have you go to second circle, and I'm going to have Liv follow you, if he wants to stay alive. And then you will go here and follow Thanquol. You will go right here, training, and we'll want to declare war on these guys now. And by... being friends with you. We will join your war against the Goromadni tribe and ask for trade agreement and I guess the non-aggression pact. If we need to betray you later, well, we'll do that as well, but this will come in handy. Like so. Alright, now we're at war with the Goromadni tribe, and we'll hopefully be able to take that lovely territory of theirs. Otherwise, any trade agreements we've got, looks like Valkia doesn't seem to care about the fact that we're at war with them. She's currently at war with nobody, though, which I can't say I like that much. I wonder how she feels about the Korn's bloody sword here, because I was thinking we might attack them too. Ah, they're not super friendly with each other. Well, that works well in our favor. Clan Creepus wants a defensive alliance, which we could do just for the purpose of money. But it's only 1100. I think we can wait. We can't spend any money ourselves right now. Anyway, you know what? I think we've no choice. We're going to have to start collecting income here at North Linsk, and it is balanced at 0. It'll actually start rising if we don't build anything right now. We've only got 2 turns until the Grand Warren is up here, and we do need more of those. I really wish that the capacities for the engineers, for the Warlock engineers, would be at least a tier 4 instead of tier 5. The fact that you have to go all the way to tier 5 to get a single Warlock engineer capacity is kind of insane, but I suppose it's balanced out by the fact that you can have as many of the other 2, of the Eshin Sorcerer and Plague Priest, as you want, thanks to those Bell Foundries. So I see the sense in it, annoying though it may be, and I guess we will want to... Wait, you're good here. We'll want to build the Eshin structure. Okay, right. I've almost forgot that we can't afford to build anything. Now, when I say almost, I mean completely. You... I guess we could raid here for a turn rather than providing the additional public order. Go into raiding, go here and raid the Ice Court. Funnily enough, last episode, I think we said that the Ice Court was rank 13 on the map. Rank 10 now. Ooh. Damn, they're doing pretty good. I think it's due to proximity of the player that's bumping up the AI's capabilities, which does make sense. Anyway, you're going to raid through their territory, and then I think maybe we'll go to the Sea Corps here. Actually, it would be better to take Bolgasgrad and then do that, though. Now, these guys could travel through this territory to go up to it. Would you be able to handle yourself? Slanashi giggle. But anyway, if all of these guys' armies went after you, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out, though. More fighting and all that. Anyway, Trare, stay here. You're providing public order, and I believe, other than the tech thievery, we don't actually have anything else to do. So, oh, Liv. Did I not put you in the... Oh, my bad. You're supposed to go into Thanquol's army. Like so. Alright, and obviously Thanquol is going to need other... heroes, but that'll be a bit of tech thief. All right, fine. Steal here from one more time, and we gotta go and expand the undercity after. Please succeed, though. Yes. Okay. Good. That should give us the number of turns to get to probably Uzkalak. Maybe set up the undercity in Uzkalak, and then start tech thievering our way down to Jarnagrund and set up another one there. That seems like the thing to do. Anyway, we'll skip. We'll end the turn, and we'll go for Mother of Stank. Yeah. Wow, Boris Ursus, I gotta say I was not expecting that. Certainly wasn't expecting his main stack. Man, so remember we made a ruin out of a territory up to the north so that he would bypass... We essentially setting up a ruin barrier, so he had to bypass the ruins and bypass the Azag the Slaughterer to go for us, which is something of an annoyance. And that, oh well, I guess, Thanquol, you're gonna have 2 things to do because we need to deal with this. Suddenly we're surrounded and under attack from every side. And just the way we likes it. Yes. Alrighty. Alrighty, let's see, we got a noise... Oh, we've already had this one. Alright, so we don't need to read this again. We got that box of eerie noises again, which I don't care for. We do have the potential for +2 control for all provinces, but the research rate, I think, is the more valuable. So once again, we'll investigate the box. Alright, and I got another thing. And we can choose between a Banner of Eternal Flame and 3,000 gold. Admittedly, we do need the gold, but at the same time, we will be building a fire army rather soon, and the Banner of Eternal Flame could come in handy if we want to, for example, add some artillery to that army, which we can make into fire artillery, and by virtue of the banner. For example, poison wind mortars with fire on them. Fire poison wind mortars? Sounds pretty good to me. But anyway, word has reached your ears that one you thought less treacherous than other lords has stolen from you. Okay, so we've read that one too. Steal it. Wait, what's your... Ooh. This will bring you down to 4 loyalty, though. I mean, I guess you're going to be fighting soon. You know what? I will give him some items. All right, steal it. And Settlement Lost, I know. Damn you, Boris. Fortunately, there's nothing you can do about taking Svedora. It's too well defended, even with the garbage piles of Skaven slaves. So we'll just have to deal with it. I would like to send a full stack that way, but now... Oh, Tzarina Katarin is there at Bolgasgrad with some decent stuff. I wonder what's in her army. The magics that she has are going to be the real problem. Though I do wonder if we could maybe ambush her. This is the assassin army, after all, and it does seem like that's the thing that they'd be good at. Anyway, the big fight is... Oh, Ha, Mother of Stank, you ran away, you fool. Okay, I guess we're gonna besiege this place then. Alright, so you, Tech Thief, are gonna go up here. Well, let's see what's going on up here. They're going after Bloody Sword? I don't think that she can take the territory. At least I doubt it. You are currently at war with Bloody Sword, so we'll ask for joining the war. We're not going to be friends with you yet because there's a decent likelihood that we attack you because, I mean, make this territory essentially the heart of the Moulder Empire. So yes, join this for the money, but otherwise ignore it. And then, you know what, while we're in Diplo, Legion of the Gore Queen wants to trade. Ah. And so do Heralds of the Tempest. I don't dislike that. Do they dislike the fact that we're attacking Gormadni tribe? They don't seem to care. Alright, well, let's trade with the Legion of the Gore Queen first. Assuming we don't want to move over here. I wonder how the Chaos Dwarfs feel about Valkia. Frankly, Chaos generally doesn't make for a good ally. At least the Warriors of Chaos don't make for a good ally, but at the same time, they can trade, which is, for a trade-centric faction, a good thing. And I don't want to spend all of our time fighting Chaos, so we can do the trade, and you know what, all vacillating aside, we can always betray anybody we want. It's the Skaven way. Alrighty. It looks like a couple of trade agreements will make us positive, and make that rat-catering trait a little bit more worthwhile. You, Mr. Throt, are going to besiege Navkazi. Yes. And rather than attacking immediately, though we very well could easily, and defeat everybody here, we will, well, okay, we'll build some siege equipment. What was this again? Oh, right, the Banner of Vermin is scurrying, don't care. We will besiege it and will allow Mother of Stank to move on. And admittedly, this will mean that our army will get hexed because of her presence, but at the same time, it's going to make for a much better and bigger fight. Alrighty. Now let's move everybody else around. I wish these two didn't immediately show up as soon as we declared war on the Gormadni tribe, but there isn't anything we can do about it now. I guess what we can do then is, let's see, Mantcore Hunting Grounds. We can send Skittis this way to Mantcore Hunting Grounds. I wonder if these guys have a full stack at Gormadni. Hold, I see a small stack. Okay, so you're gonna go here. Thankol, you're gonna pop in and reinforce, and I'm wondering whether we can take it and then proceed further. With an auto-resolve. Decisive victory, casualties low. Let's hope that it's not lying to us. Auto-resolve. And, okay, severe damage to the Skaven slaves, but that's to be expected. We will take it at tier 1, I think. Though we did just waste 30 food by not going for the food tech. But it's not worth it to raise it here, I think. We'll loot and occupy. And we want to start in our own territory anyway. Oh, Gormadni holds a tier 4 as well, which is not too bad. And then we will move Thankol by himself. Oh, can he actually win this by himself? They do have a mammoth and a bunch of marauder champions. The main issue here is that we have no easy way of knocking out single entities. On the other hand, if we lose, we can always back off. It's again the Skaven way, so give it a try. And again, if we get an ambush going, it won't matter either way. No, actually, it will matter because, well, no ambush. Alright, well, let's give this a shot. Let's see whether Thankol can pull it off. Should be an interesting one. I think we'll bump up the menaces below for this. Because obviously Marauder Champions versus Skaven Slaves is a little bit iffy. It's a little bit iffy. And we're just gonna have to do our best. This is 3 uses per. We should get, what, 15 food from the fight? I don't think we'll ever use 7. Let's do 6. Go. Wait. Yeah, go.
Horned rats will.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's see if we can pull this off. Thankol here without his trusty Bone Ripper, and about, what, a little over half of our army is made up of nothing but Skaven slaves and a few clan rats, which, compared to the Marauder Champions, the troop quality disparity is pretty horrific. And we're just gonna have to see. On the bright side, though, we do have our artillery, and while the enemy is not yet in range of the avalanche mortars, and they they will eventually be. And speaking of the avalanche mortars as well as the plague claw catapults, we have this little hilled position where we can hopefully protect them some, and generally are going to fire down on the enemy from up here. Now the biggest issue that these armies are going to have are the 2 units of trolls and the mammoth, and probably the single entity heroes. We don't really have an easy way of dealing with them at all. I'm hopeful that the single unit of the Poison Wind Globadiers with their anti-large projectiles can bring down the Norse controls, but it remains to be seen as to whether they can. First volley will take about 15% of their HP. It's not too bad, not horrible. Not great either, of course, and the trolls are going to make quick work of those Skaven. Or those Skaven slaves. We're all Skaven, but anyway. In the meantime, though, we got death globes coming down on the enemy units of Javelineers. First units of clan rats or Skaven slaves, or rather, are booking it on out of there, and the trolls are down to about half of their HP. To prevent them from going further into the blob of Skaven slaves, we're going to activate the, not the warp quake, but the seismic snare to keep them locked in place until they break from projectile fire. The avalanche mortars continue to come down, though there are only a couple of units that they're able to target here. But in combination with the regular death globes and the catapults, it looks like we've at least been able to clear out those enemy units of Javelineers, which admittedly are very threatening to our fragile units of death globes and poison winds. On the bright side, it looks like the enemy lord was defeated after all. The Clan Vulcan tail slashers combined with the chieftain and Thankol himself have all decided to go into melee. I decided that we wanted to send Thankol in because he applies that bolstered command, and every little bit of damage will help the Clan Vulcan tail slashers and do that little extra bit better. Anyway, the enemy reinforcements are arriving, and they're the major threat. While there were a decent amount of units in this first stack, the Marauder champions and the other trolls and the mammoth are all in the second stack, so that's where the real challenge is going to come in. And on top of that, we have suffered damage already. Several of our units of clan rats, actually Skaven slaves rather, have broken, and of course the splash damage from our own artillery pieces isn't helping matters. Normally we wouldn't care over much, but well, Skaven slaves are really all we have to act as melee, and somebody needs to tar pit those Marauder champions in order for us to bring them down. Anyway, it looks like some doggos are going to make their way forward first from the second stack, and we'll start tearing through those Skaven slaves like anybody else would. Though here we have the clan rats, and these are the summoned clan rats from our first or second use of the menace below. Definitely going to need every single use of that ability in this particular fight as the more elite units come down. Looks like a unit of Marauder Hunters with Javelins has returned, and here comes the Mammoth charging towards those clan rats. And though fortunately it looks like that unit of doggos is gone, the rats go flying, many of them, and with this first charge the Mammoth takes out 10 of them. But hopefully we can keep it trapped. The summoned units of clan rats, we don't care about their casualties, at least to some degree, though we do need them to hold the line, and we will use them to distract the mammoth while we keep getting those volleys of those anti-large Poison Wind Globadiers. This, however, means that while they're focusing the mammoth, they cannot focus down those enemy trolls, which have also charged our main line. They'll be held back by the Skaven slave spears, but probably not for too long. Besides, the real enemy army is on the way. Four, I think, units of Marauder champions, 2 with sword and ward, 2 with great weapons, are all here, and we're just going to have to deal. And now it looks like the Mammoth has cleared out those clan rats, and we move in the units of warp grinders in order to seismic snare it. Unfortunately, the enemy does a good counter to that with a Marauder Hunter unit with javelins focusing down the warp grinders, and the extremely fragile unit gets brought down rather quick. The main line has arrived, and it's time to do as much damage as we possibly can with the Death Glow, Bombardiers and Avalanche Mortars alike, regardless of the fact that I'm sure we'll deal plenty of casualties to our own units. It's more than worth it to wipe out a couple of units of Marauder champions if we can manage to do so. Warp Lightning comes down from Thankwell, of course. And the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers are holding off a unit of Marauder Champs. They will not win, even with them being buffed and mutated and being a regiment of renown. There's still a unit of Clan Rats. But hopefully they can hold ground long enough. And of course, while they're there, we will not be dropping artillery on them like we are on the other Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves. Here comes the Warp Grinders having returned, this time popping off the Warp Quake. Not just the Seismic Snare, and dishing out a decent bit of damage and sending at least one unit of regular Marauders packing. A second Warp Lightning comes down. Always an annoyance to play against Skaven, who keeps spamming that ability, but now we've got that ability working for us instead. At least with Thankful, it's going to be difficult to get it on too many lords or too many armies early on. Again, due to that difficulty of getting the engineer heroes. But we'll get them. Alright, Balance Power's at about 70% in our favor. The Death Globes and Poison Winds are still working. The Warp Grinders keep popping off those Warp Quakes, so at this point they're so damaged I think they're going to be booking it on out of there themselves rather shortly, together with the rest of our Skaven Slaves. Alright, that said, it looks like we do manage to pull it off. Severe damage to our main line, but it looks like we had just barely enough units to take hits from our own units in order for our weapons teams and artillery to kill the enemy off. Ooh, definitely a close fight, as we can see by the damage, and of course we have no summoner unit in this army, and definitely gonna need at least one Packmaster and probably a Plague Priest as well. I kind of like to think of the Skaven heroes, I think I said this in a comment somewhere, I kind of like to think of them as mini WAS, because I do think that the Skaven faction does need a WAS-style mechanic to provide bunches of Skaven slaves, but foregoing that, we've got the units that can summon wolf rats and vermintides, so we've got that going for us at least. Anyway, a really great fight. Ooh, alrighty. Definitely an epic start to Thanquol's legend in this particular campaign. A great battle to make up his debut. Unfortunately, the Feral Mammoth escaped, but I believe we can't reach the enemy settlement anyway, so they're going to at least to some degree revive, and not much we can do about it. On the bright side, though, we got plenty of money, a little bit of XP for Thanquol. Great work by, well, pretty much everybody in the entire army. The Poison Winds, Death Globes, and Avalanche Mortars, unsurprisingly, and doing massive amounts. Surprisingly little from the Plague Claw Catapults, but they do become stronger over time between buffs and veterancy. That makes them, well, better. Decent work from the Warp Grinders. Of course, they're ultra fragile, so they couldn't do much. And the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers at 18.6k. Very solid for a Clan Rat unit. And of course, the giant pile of Skaven Slaves to take the hits for us. Healing is relatively minimal, and I think we need the money desperately right now, so we will sell off. And just to double check, yeah, but there's no way we're reaching this. No way we're reaching this, which means we're taking attrition. It's unfortunate that Skaven don't have any attrition-avoiding stances that they can take, like, I don't know, like orcs and other factions that can immediately go into them, but oh well, what can you do? And I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I was wondering whether we should join some of these together and then just recruit some of the Skaven Slave Spears out of the Growth Vat, which is admittedly a possibility. Anyway, I'd like you to back off very slightly and then channel here, like so. Then I would like you to go for maybe Death Frenzy. If we go for Death Frenzy, we need the second... No, actually, because you're a lord, you can overcast it via the first level. Alright, so go for Death Frenzy. And, I mean, I guess Scorch, it's not super useful in this particular situation, but no, it's better than nothing. Alright, Scorch it is. What about you? Go for Tail Weapon, and... Okay, just go for Tail Weapon. Also, do we have any spare items that we can give you? We could pop the Chromatic Armor on you, I guess, at least for now. I don't know whether we're going to keep it on you, but try to help out. Scum is for fighters, so not for you. Well, I guess we could give you a Sword of Strife for now, not Sword of Bloodshed. Spotter Spyglass may come in handy. Oh, we got a Relic Sword, which actually for the Skaven isn't super useful, is it? Mostly because most... oh, we need the engineering student. Mostly because... Oh, it can only go on Warlock Engineers. Well, darn. What was I saying? I was saying something. But I forgot what it was.
Rat mage.
Something was not useful for some reason. Whatever. I'm sure I'll think of it again someday. Anyway, technology, back to you. We're at 155 rat force, and we want to get herding whips. Construction cost minus 10%. We also desperately need that. We've also gone now several turns without quote-unquote using food. And yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll do tunnel vision or tunnel expansion, max it out, and then quote-unquote use the food. Huh, wait, are we not maxed in terms of food? Herding whips. Wait, 216 out of 216. And if we do this, 203 out of 216. Wait, so it does use this? But it doesn't use 100. Okay, well, whatever. Like I said, we spent 2 turns waiting and gaining like 30 whatever food per turn. Or rather than build that, because we were waiting, a hunter system and all that, but now we're just going to use it. We could have, I guess, done it any time, because our capacity is up to 216, and 100 would have only taken us to half anyway. Anyway, that was a nice fight, is what it was. Now, Throt, you're besieging, and that hasn't changed. Kronid, you... Well, I'd love to attack Tzarina Katarin. I think we will go for an ambush stance here, and then attempt this. Or at least see if she's willing to move forward and out of the way of the settlement, especially while this army is not the strongest at the current time. We do have stolen supplies and spotting, which is great. Bolstered attack is coming at level 15, so it's going to be a while. And then these 2 abilities aren't useful, and I still kind of on overwhelm because of Weeping Blade being useful. I'll continue thinking about it. I guess we'll get the assassins the concealment bombs in case they need to do assassin things, as one does on occasion. And I also suppose that we could... I wanted to upgrade a couple more gutter runners with for the shuriken types. So let's do you 2. A bit expensive, and then you 2 become poison gutter runners with shuriken. Alright, there we go. Now we have 2 poison gutter runners, 2 regular gutter runners, several night runners, and then, yeah. Again, we do have to molderize this army a little bit as well, which means, I think, wait, we wanted to get the other 2 units of brood horrors in this army, didn't we? Which we do have capacity of. Yeah. Might as well get them in there now. Shame to let one of these guys go, but, well, it is what it is. Huh. Just out of curiosity. We could also do that next turn and transfer the Night Runners. I wanted to give at least a couple of Night Runners to Thankol, since, once again, I want him to be a generalist army with sort of lots of access to lots of different types of things. Would it be faster to just build these guys up here? Well, we can't build that in this territory right now. Oh, also, wait, before I forget, let's build the Exotic Animal Tamer. It ain't much, but we do still need it. It's probably going to be faster. You know what, wait the turn, I'd rather not spend the money, as I now realize, to increase the costs. Trare, you're having to stay in Svedora until we're free to send an army back here. Kronid, you're fine, Throt is fine, and I guess that sounds like an end turn to me. So Garrison Lord and Assigned Skill Points, Building Upgrades, Undercity upgrade available. I'd love to, but we don't have the money. I don't remember whether we checked Diplo this turn, but we have no trade agreements available to us anyway, so that hardly matters. Gormani tribe want peace, but we do not want peace. And they have, wait, 4 settlements? Oh, they've taken one from these guys, huh? If these guys fail to take it back, we might be able to come down here, grab it, and then trade it. I assume their main stack is here as well. Oh, right, and I wanted to give the Council Guard to Thankol, although at 413 gold per turn, I think we're going to wait on that, at least for now. Anyway, let's end the turn. Alright, here we go, and surprisingly perhaps, Mother of Stank will indeed come in. Now we've got 2.5 stacks against Throt the Unclean, but that's what we wanted. The main stack of the faction is always the strongest stack on the field, so that's hardly surprising. Maybe not always, but 99% of the time. Before we get started, we did reach the engagement threshold, of course, so this will be the longer episode, if that wasn't clear already. And the engagement threshold remains 500 likes, 70 comments, and the next episode will be of the hour adjacent variety as well, which it's been closer to 2 hours lately. But anyway, fun stuff. Go.
Clan.
Alrighty, here we go. This is probably most of the strength of Mother of Stank's entire faction arrayed against us. Her main stack, her second full stack, and her capital's garrison all at once. Can we pull it off? I guess we're about to find out. Obviously, now that we have Vanguard deployment on more units, that means the Rat Ogres are joined by the Hellpit Abominations, who don't have to spend the entire battle just trying to travel to the enemy army. Of course, we now also have more of our units of Packmasters that have their brood horrors and are thus now able to summon them all over the place. And the Mutant Rat Ogres are here too. It's a bit of a shame that Gorich doesn't have Vanguard deployment, and neither does our Chieftain. I do wonder if there is an item that we can get that would give them that. Granted, they do move fairly quickly, but it would be nice if they could Vanguard deploy with the rest of Throt's force. Anyway, the way that we've started this particular battle, other than summoning wolf rats all over the place, is to charge the very right flank of the enemy with all of our Rat Ogres, essentially bisecting the army or splitting it in half. Over on the left flank, we have deployed our Hellpit Abominations, Gorich, who's spinning to win as we speak, and a couple of the Rat Ogres as well, with the idea that the units that are less fragile than the regular Rat Ogres will take the bulk of the enemy from the left flank, or their right flank, but they're on our left flank, whatever, from that side of the enemy army, while we obliterate the other half of the combination of high damage dealing but fragile Rat Ogres and Wolf Rat summons. And by the looks of it, it's going fairly well, as this portion of the enemy army is by and large destroyed. The other half, of course, remains, but we've been keeping them back, and they're about to be joined by another full stack as a Stankia has arrived on the battlefield. Over all the way on the right flank, we've destroyed a unit of the things in the woods, which have been run down by a couple of units of wolf rats, and then we're distracting a unit of KISLEVite warriors and a snow leopard with another summoned unit. More summons where that came from in every, what was it, a minute and a half maybe? Don't remember the exact time of the cooldown for the wolf rats, but the longer we spend on the battlefield, the more time we have to summon more of them on the field, which is just great. And of course, we also have clan rats via the Vermintide ability. Like here, we use the Vermintide to summon them on top of the Kosovoite dervishes, preventing them from running into other units. Not that they would have been a major threat to, well, really anything. Anything in Throt's army at any rate. Skaven slaves and clan rats, sure, but not the monstrous units. Anyway, looks like a Stankia will activate the something Fens, Forbidden Fens. Really cool looking spell. You gotta admit the allure of the hag looks really nice. And it looks like Stank has brought a Feral Manticore as well. Huh, this is a summoned unit, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I was like, where the heck did that come from? I don't think she can build those. It's a summon from one of the Beast Lore witches that she's brought. And we'll jump right into the middle of our formation, which is absolutely the appropriate use for it here, simply because it doesn't last very long, especially with the AI obviously not going to be keeping enough mana to keep it on field. And it'll disappear in, I don't know, some seconds anyway. Gorich at the front of the line. He does have regeneration and a pretty big pile of HP as well. And there's also, though, the fact that Gorich causes our units near him to go into rampage periodically. It's actually a bit of a detriment, and I wonder whether we should make an adjustment in how we use him in the battle. Maybe send him by himself, or maybe with a couple of units over to one side, maybe with the Hellpit Abominations on one side of the battle map, and keep everybody else away elsewhere. It's a possibility. He can still mince enemies, and he'll still be pretty hard to bring down. Anyway, the second, or the third, actually, army has now arrived. We're not going to bother chasing after a Stank yet. We've got plenty of other enemies to deal with. Mr. Throt is in the midst of a duel with the enemy incarnate elemental of beasts, which has always been such a fantastic-looking model. Gotta love it. Including the chest laser thing that it does. I was hoping to see it here, but it looks like it's having a little bit of trouble. It's exhausted. Oh, right, Mother of Stank would have come into the battle in March stance as well, which probably explains, or would explain, the relative weakness of her reinforcing force. Another Forbidden Fens comes down, but it looks like it doesn't matter all that much to us. There's that chest laser we've got. But Chest Laser or not, the Incarnate Elemental, tier 5 as it is down to 20% of its HP, and the massive anti-large bonuses that we have on Throt will ensure that it gets brought down. There we go. The Incarnate Elemental will topple, perhaps crushing a few wolf rats under its bulk, but that hardly matters as we got plenty more wolf rat summons where that came from. I really love how different Moulder feels just by virtue of the fact that you're incentivized to spam pack masters. And the giant piles of wolf rats is really nice. Anyway, our summons are dueling the enemy's summons, and we'll be knocking out the enemy things in the woods shortly. And it looks like, I thought that they would be unbreakable. But apparently not. Considering it's an ethereal unit. Oh, interesting. And either way, it looks like with that, the enemy army will collapse. We've got a bit of damage on several units, in fact, a lot of our doggo units, and this summoned unit of rat ogres. As usual, we use the summoned rat ogres as the tip of the spear, and thus allow them to take a lot more damage than our non-summoned rat ogres, though admittedly, the non-summoned rat ogres did still suffer a decent bit, going down by about 40% of their HP each, but since they didn't lose a lot of models, for example, this one's 16 out of 16, so it'll go back to 100% HP after the battle. Anyway, lovely. There we go. Got that much needed payday of 7.4k money and plenty of food and growth juice as well. Stanka's armies are pretty much destroyed, and we did just fine. Only 23 losses. Well, I mean, we probably had thousands, well, maybe not thousands, but at least hundreds. We can see kills, so we got 20, 40, 60, probably another 20 there, 80, another 30, another 60. Probably somewhere between 3, 4, 500. Oh, 80 on you. Yeah, probably something around 500 wolf rats lost, but that's perfectly fine. It worked very well for us. And of course, our single entities took damage, but between remoldered and all that, it was just fine as well. We're gonna take the money again. Alright, settlement besieged Svedora. Oh, wow, he actually besieged it. I'm kind of impressed, admittedly. We may just let him attempt a siege attack. Interesting. Anyway, defeated Mother of Stank. It gives targeting range plus 10% for spells, and that doesn't really do much for Throt. But the spell resistance and Wind of Magic is fine. Competent Protector, Courageous, Authoritarian, Enemy Killed in Battle, Channeling Staff, Gormani Tribe. Oh, you gotta be... What? Oh, they defeated them. Oh, game. Oh, we got screwed there, didn't we? Darn. Oh, well, good job, AI. Anyway, so what I want to do is this. You are going to combine you and you, and you're going to combine you and you. And then we're going to pop in 3 Skaven Slave Spears, like so. And Confederation, Technology Research, Campaign Movement Range, great. Then you are going to besiege the place in, I guess, a regular stance.
Of course.
And like so, Pyrrhic Victory, we'll just wait on it. And then we will move in this little, giant pile of Skaven slaves as a reinforcement, like so. And then we should be able to auto-resolve it. No! It'll kill off a bunch of clan rats and stuff. Alright, I guess we'll fight this in a bit. It's kind of annoying that we have to do that again. I wonder if they'd be willing to sally out, but probably better not to waste the turn, so we'll probably just fight them again. Alrighty, technology-wise, we are not wasting our money on Treasure Force 2, much as I'd like to, but we are going to go for those herding whips. Wait. What did I get instead of herding whip? Oh, I went for the tunnel expansion. Yeah, alright, fine. And the rest of this we can ignore for now. Alright, and Thankol, your minion guy here is going to need some points. Let's get you elusive. Alright. And, oh right, I did want to get you that council guard, but again, I'll think about it. Throt. I wonder how much it's worth to raise this place. If we sack it, we could probably chase down and destroy a stank for good. If we don't, she's going to, you know, be there, and I don't particularly like that. Well, I think we have to steal tech from these guys. Not much of a choice. We still are on the way to Kholek. I see River Dolgan here. Alright, so we do this. I just want to see Valkia. They don't like treaties with the Heralds of the Tempest. Okay, well, hopefully they fight amongst themselves. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe we'll just kill Valkia. I'll think about it. I just don't want to get bogged down fighting too much chaos, but then again, they might offer some variety as well, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, Mr. Tech Thief, go for more tech thievery, as one does. Alright, Throt, back to you. Alright, let's see how much money this is gonna offer us. 10 losses. Okay, it will offer us... I could, I guess, sack it and then occupy it then. Yeah, alright, sack it, kill the stank, and then come back and occupy it. Hopefully we can actually reach it. Guess we're about to find out. Alright, Ruby Ring of Ruin. Kill the stank, yeah? Since she ran away. We won't be able to reach it. Well, it is what it is then. Fine, not a big deal. And why are you at 19 out of 20? Wait. I didn't accidentally lose a unit, did I? You have all your pack masters, you have your... What the heck? Did we fight with 19? Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and double check. Anyway, I'll resolve this. Curious. Not that it matters much, but anyway, you're gonna have to raid for the turn then, and then go back to Navkazi after. A man-thing slave income from all buildings plus 10% local region. Yeah, sure, that'll come in useful for any sort of, do we have a rat lord that helps? Let's see, we got growth. Now we got another one with foresight, that's not bad. Oh, and that's a gray seer with foresight. Of the plague variety. No, that's a ruin variety. Damn, I was hoping it would be plague. To lead an eventual, Pestilence army. You have the damage reflection. Melee defense plus 5 for all units rank 7 and above isn't bad on the, from Shuriken Mayhem. Integrated weaponry, armor-piercing weapon damage, warp fireball. It's all fine. But it's not what I was looking for. Where is Mr. Skidus? I just want to see something. Ravenous expansion gives 2 growth. I want to see if anything here helps you administer territory, but it doesn't look like it does. Thankful. Can anything you do administer territory? No, it doesn't look like it. Huh, so none of them are good at administering territory. You know what, that checks. That definitely checks out. Just as Skaven in general. Now, you... maybe head towards Boris Ursus. I mean, if, yeah. If Tzarina Katarin's backed off, let's see if we can catch him, see if he runs. He could also attempt to immediately attack Svedora, but we should be fine if he does. I'd like you to get the defeat trait, though, rather than Trare. Probably. Hey, we're actually losing Skaven corruption. That's not the worst thing in the world, because it gives us additional public order, although the issue is that it will mean less menaces below, though. We are maxed out in terms of food, so that's probably fine. Yeah, don't upgrade any of these as yet. This place is fine, minus the public order issues. Trare, thankful. Okay, I guess the only option then is to attack with you guys as soon as I check Diplo anyway. Ironback, Red Eye, Borden, Coven, nobody wants to trade. Yeah, we'll do the military access with these guys. I mean, if we betray them, we'll just double up on, you know, betraying them. Clan Creepus, Bone Rattlers, no, don't bother with the Defensive Alliance, and I don't care about this. Gormodni tribe wants peace. We could, though. How angry will they be at us? I wonder if, Oh, damn, Hall of Ursula was high level too. Damn that Confederation. But yeah, at least we know where their main stack is. Oh well. Anyway, I guess, Thankful, you're going in again. Slaneshi giggle. But that's fine. We have the follower army now. Go. Alrighty, I admit I'm a little bit peeved at the auto-resolve for not allowing this, but, well, what can you do? Not a big deal. We will still be able to enjoy this fight, I'd wager, as there's a decent little bit of Norskins in there, and we are fairly heavily damaged, and as we've seen, we gotta be fairly careful with Thankhol's army in its current state. Though they have some very good ringers, like the avalanche mortars, we don't have the melee line to take as much of an advantage of them as we otherwise might. Anyway, the battle will begin with an artillery barrage going over the walls, as we got a pretty darn nice, by the looks of it, firing arc on those Plague Claw catapults. Definitely been on the receiving end of that particular firing arc many a time when playing against the Skaven, so nice to make good use of those Plague Claws here. Though it does look like a fair few projectiles will still smash into that tower. Not a big deal, or the wall, I suppose. You'd think that in these minor settlements, the AI would, or the enemies, or whoever's in this minor settlement type would at least attempt to block these places up. I wonder if you can build the barricade platforms, etc. here or not. Anyway, the bombardment will continue until the morale improves, though I don't know if it'll be improving once the enemy is dead. Our morale will, though, so it still makes sense. And it looks like the first of the enemy unit to Marauder's Spears is now broken and backing off out of there. Let's speed this up a little bit as we try to move forward and make our way into the enemy city. I suppose the Plague Claws just firing away here and there aren't the most interesting. They're also not doing a lot of damage by the looks of it due to the relatively loose formations that the enemy is in here. But they probably won't be in those formations forever as we now make our way into the enemy settlement. Here comes the counter charge from the enemy Marauder champions. They're at about a third of their HP, but here on the front line, at least currently, we only have our Skaven slaves. So they're not going to be doing the damage, but between the Warp Lightning and the Death Globes coming down from our Death Globe Bombardiers, and we dish out decent damage to them, bring them down to 5% of their HP. The Chieftain has joined the fray as well, not on a Bone Breaker yet, but that's alright because we got a Warlord and a Bone Breaker. Anyway, obviously Skittus has arrived as a reinforcement, and so has the enemy Mammoth charged him, but this time with the Bonebreaker to pin it in place and the Poison Wind Globadiers firing off those globes, or chucking those globes at its flanks, the Mammoth goes down rather quickly. We do still have the Norse controls and more Marauder champions working away at our units on the left flank. But we will once again retarget those Poison Winds at the large units, the critical units of the enemy trolls, while the Clan Rats and Skaven slaves hold off the enemy Marauders. Another Chain Lightning will come down in the midst of the enemy, blobbed up as they are. And, actually a surprising amount of them got right back up. Well, good for them. And it looks like at max range, not a lot of our Poison Winds are landing. And the trolls are pretty okay. I feel like against trolls, the Warplug Jezzails may be the better option than the Poison Wind Globadiers, maybe. Poison Winds would probably be better against cavalry, I would think. And they're also pretty darn solid against big old targets that they're not going to miss, like the mammoths and giants and all that sort of thing. But the monstrous infantry seem to occupy a decent niche where there's small enough unit numbers and the fact that they are, well, the trolls in particular are fairly resistant, regenerative and all that. And their models are also small enough that a decent amount of the Poison Winds will miss them. Anyway, not that it matters in this particular case, especially when they blob up like this. Once again, Skittus is going to pin them in place, and just like he did that Mammoth. And hopefully they can get a few more of those globes into the trolls' backs. Speaking of globes, Death Globe Bombardiers will also come down with more on the enemy Marauders. Enemy unit of Doggos comes on in together with the Marauder champions. We're going to Chain Lightning, or Warp Lightning them again. Looks like Norse controls are out over on the left flank. The battle shifts to about 90% in our favor, and it looks like we have certainly made it through the entrance to the enemy settlement. Oh, there's another 90% HP unit of trolls here, right? Well, here comes the first volley of the Poison Winds, and we can see how many of them miss them as they move. But what can you do? Looks like these spears will stop them in their tracks. And we'll get a few more volleys into them. I'm sure a fair few of the Skaven slaves will be destroyed by our own units, but looks like the AI understands the threat and will use the mass of the trolls to simply move through the units of Skaven slaves and towards those death globes, stopping just short of them before they shatter on the charge from the chieftain and Skittis and Thankful as well. Lovely. Alright, let's see what we got in terms of enemies in the settlement that still remain in the fight. There's still another unit of damaged Marauder champions, as well as a unit of these throwing axes. Yeah, throwing axe Marauder horsemen. Chucking those axes at us, but we've got more Skaven slaves than they have axes, so. Especially with the reinforcing army actually here. Unlike the previous fight, so I'm sure we'll be fine. Huh. They're dodging those death globes, but, well, once again, we've got more globes than they have bodies here. Actually, do we? We got okay. The avalanche mortars actually are fairly light on ammunition. I gotta remember that, as we probably want whatever army the avalanche mortars are in to have a engineer, probably 2 engineers, to buff up their ammunition. It may be that we put the avalanche mortars in another army, simply because I intend to give the council guard Storm Vermin to Thankful, representative of the Council of 13 as he is. Again, it feels like it makes loreful sense, but if he already has 1 regiment of renown, I generally don't like to have too many regiments of renown in one army. With the possible exception of the, the legendary lord of the faction's main stack, as we might put the Hellpit Abomination legendary or regiment of renown in Throt's army, though on the other hand he probably doesn't need it, so we might put it in another army as well. Regardless of the fact that he would be buffing it more than anybody else. I don't remember, what does the regiment of renown Hellpit Abomination do? Does it have a Mortis Engine effect? Might be the case. If it does, and we get it the Mortis Engine mutation, that would probably make it into an extremely nasty beastie. And we might as well pop the Warp Lightning thing on it as well. I don't know, I'm excited for that. The other reason that we can that it might be nice to have it in Throt's army is the fact that in his army it'll be like 0 cost to upkeep. Well, not 0, but it'll cost like 50 gold. Everything in his army due to him or his own buffs, as well as the buffs of the Packmasters, is super cheap. Where Moulder monsters are concerned. Though admittedly we will be getting plenty more of those Packmasters as soon as we have the building capacity to build them. In minor settlements all over the place, especially. And for 2 reasons. 3 reasons. A, because they summon, B, because they buff, and C, because they have that Rat Katarin trait, which will mean additional trade. And yeah, we're definitely going to need to get a few more heroes to spread them out, send them on to the, 4 corners of the world, and got to find more factions to ally with. Again, Skaven are a trade-centric faction because their income in settlements is rather low, so we do need some more trading partners. Hopefully the undead of various types, the Chaos Dwarfs, if we can manage to get friendly with them, the Ogres, most definitely if we can manage to get friendly with them, and they're generally pretty okay about the Skaven. I wonder how Tomb Kings will feel about us. I don't remember if the Tomb Kings will have any massive aversion to us like they would against Chaos. And whether the aversion would then be counteracted by the fact that Tomb Kings like it when you have a big empire. Anyway, I digress. That's all for the future. Definitely part of the fun of all of these campaigns for me is planning out armies and all that sort of stuff. But for now, we gotta plan out the rest of this fight. The bounce power's at about 90% in our favor. The Marauder Chieftain has arrived in combat, but Skittis moves to meet him on his Bonebreaker. Skittis is down to about 50% of his HP, but he has been fighting a fair bit over the course of this particular battle. The enemy Lord's down a half HP as well and doesn't have a Chieftain and a million Skaven slaves to help him out. So he probably won't be in this fight for too much longer, and frankly neither will the rest of his army, as with that the enemy army will shatter and the battle rather quickly is ours. Alright, there we go. 836 primarily Skaven slaves sacrificed, and otherwise no problem at all. Really should have been auto-resolvable, but at the end of the day still wasn't the worst fight. Ooh, if we raise it at 3.5k, we can then reoccupy it, eh? I think that's the way we do it. Alright, raise it. Oh, we'll suffer attrition if we do, won't we? But at least this way we save the instability from stacking it. Yeah, just do it. Right, raise it, and I don't think the attrition will kill anybody. I'm just gonna assume that the enemy main stack isn't over here, since they defeated the... Oh, don't tell me you're not in range. Okay, now you are in range. Since they defeated the enemy lord... Actually, who knows where the actual enemy lord was to get that confederation going. Well, either way. Gormadny Hold. Do we want to take it at a higher level? Frankly, this place is one that we should maybe develop, and maybe the gold mine in particular. This should be taken at tier 3. Is it worth it to use 80 food on this? We could immediately get the public order buildings up and running. Yeah, fine. Alright, we'll do that. That'll screw up our food a little bit, but not so bad. You can channel again so that you don't lose your stuff, and you cannot channel. Alright, we will want to build stuff, but, well, at least the Taskmaster... Oh, no, we'll want to build anything we can that's expensive because we have the cost reduction doing that. This is probably the best time to build a construction cavern, then. Oh, the Pox Cauldron also gives us control, does it? I didn't realize that. And that's great. We still need the Warp Forges bloody everywhere, though. And they're just as expensive, and there's nothing else that's super critical here, at least in terms of expenses. Yeah, alright, go for the construction cavern. A little bit of expenditure, but that's fine. We'll build more stuff after the herding whips as well. Alright, that looks good to me. I'm trying to remember whether we had anything else to do here. Oh, right. I wanted to spend a little bit of mutagen. Namely, what I want to do is unlock more of the Skaven slave, or more of the infantry traits. Curiosity. You're already pretty unstable there, but it's kind of amusing to me. Here's what we'll do. We'll go to infantry augments, and then we'll get whatever we can in order to unlock everything, because it's cheaper once you have instability on you. It's only 12. And I would hope that the more we unlock, the more random augments can be applied to these guys, which is the reason why I want to do that. This, and then... Oh! I did not check the cost of that one. Whoops. One was 12, and then... we ran out, so 62. Okay, well, I screwed that up. Not too bad. Huh. 25. Wait, no, not 25. Future augment cost plus 100%. Oh! I did not see that. I thought that the... Okay, yeah, okay. Well, live and learn, guys, live and learn. I thought that they all had the future augments cost minus 50%, like this guy has. So 1 and 2, they have that, but maybe 3 they don't. Okay, I'll recheck it. Well, that was a waste. We still got whatever we want, well, something of what we wanted. You are fine. Stay as you are. Skip, skip, skip. We won't build any buildings. I would like to check our public order, though. In these territories. So you are minus 10 now in Dukeless Forest, and we don't want the place to rebel, so I think we will build the Taskmaster's platform. Costly though it may be, we need it immediately. We will upgrade the nest layer now, rather than wait. And we will eventually upgrade the mushroom tunnels and all that, but I think we'll wait for now. And then you can go into efficient planning. Alrighty, what about this place? You're okay, help it. And Gormadny Mountains is okay for now. Will it be later? Who knows, we'll see. Pit Bottom is fine, First Circle is fine. We want to build stuff, but we can't yet. Alrighty. And then we have money. It's very temporary. Money is temporary, just like real life. Anyway, end turn. Oh, wow, looks like Borosaurus will in fact attack. I'm surprised and impressed. Will he be able to take the place? That remains to be seen. Gonna be an interesting one. Let's bump this up to... I mean, yeah, the Warbear Riders are gonna be a problem. We do have the walls to rely upon, but let's bump it up a little bit. Actually, do we need to? We do have walls. Screw it now, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. Go. Alrighty, here we go. I was really hoping that the presence of Azag the Slaughterer's territory and the ruin that we created by raising the other territory closest to Boris Ursus would mean that he wouldn't go for us, but at the end of the day, it looks like the anti-player bias is sufficient that he decided to bypass all that and go directly for us. He's taken a settlement. Well, a minor settlement, but I'd wager he's not going to take over this one. The walls are very nicely Skavened up. The very nice benefit of having a massive pile of Skaven slaves is that A, we can sort of send them outside the walls as needed, and B, they cover the wall of pretty much the entire settlement everywhere, which means every single tower is active all over the map and firing away at the enemy. Granted, these are the basic arrow-type towers, so they're not going to do a crazy amount of damage, but I'd wager they can do enough damage to bring down this enemy tower full of Zargard. Been a while since I've seen the KISLEV towers. KISLEV towers really aren't that fancy. I feel like there's a distinct lack of bear motifs here. We got one with the big ol' KISLEV sign on it, but I don't know. Carve a bear into the top, maybe have some bears pushing it, maybe open the door and it's full of bears. I don't care. More bears. Anyway, it looks like the enemy's siege tower is down to 15%, 14% is going to be going down soon, and on a good way. Over on this side where Boris Ursus is going to be making his way into the enemy settlement, he's heading directly for the gate, together with Erskine, while we have bogged down the other enemy units before they could continue to move forward, simply by summoning a unit of Menace Below on top of them, and then we'll be using our range support from our Skaven Slave Slingers and our unit of Night Runners to annoy the enemy, and by the looks of it, bring down their ram as well. The enemy, of course, does have two high-rank tier 9, in fact, unit of Warbear Riders, massive amounts of HP, 1700. They've got Bonebreaker on them, huge armor-piercing splash damage, 100 armor. They're a pretty darn insane unit. But we have, what, 5,000-6,000 Skaven slaves, something like that. We'll see how many of them they can tear to shreds. Anyway, looks like the enemies are still making their way towards us. Going to get a couple of spells off here. A Pestilent Breath right through that blob of armored Cossars, doing a decent bit of damage to them, while the enemies use their butt ladders to go up on top of the walls. And the same thing is happening over on this side. Similar to the Karl campaign, however, I will not be using the ladders in this manner, with the exception of Eshin units. Eshin units should absolutely be able to scale, climb, grapple, whatever, any walls that they come into contact with. The Gutter Runners and the Night Runners and the Assassins. But obviously not the regular clan rats. Frankly, I think maybe regular clan rats might be able to climb stuff as well, but we're only going to be using the Eshin units for that purpose. Anyway, enemy units are making their way up on top of the walls over on this side and in 3 location. Well, this location as well, but it looks like the enemy is so severely damaged here that it won't matter over much, especially since we've had the Plague Claw catapults supporting. The AI likes to put the Plague Claw catapults in this location pretty much universally on this map, pretty much always. I feel like this is the better position because it can fire here and here and here, rather than from here where it can fire here and then somewhat here. But who knows? Anyway, the enemy is actually nearly broken through the gate with its 20,000 HP down to 3.5k, and it looks like we are going to have to deal with those Warbear Riders. After all, they're also not particularly heavily damaged, and despite the fact that we've been firing away with slingers and towers at them. But again, these are the very basic most type of towers, and well, the Skaven Slave Slingers are certainly not going to do too much. Armored Cossars still in the fight together with some Zargard against the second now unit of summoned clan rats, but by summoning them behind the enemy, we forced them to turn their backs to our slingers and our towers and allowed them to, allowed our units to obliterate them. Looks like the gate is down at last and the Warbear Riders have arrived. And we've got, I think, 3 units of Skaven slaves down below. Let's see how long it takes these guys to clear them out. In the meantime, though, there is little to no chance of the Skaven slaves, at least on their own, dealing with the Warbear Riders. We're going to help them out with another unit of clan rats and amongst them. And we're going to start repositioning some of our units off of the other walls where the enemy is still attempting to breach. Here, however, they have pretty much failed. They have 1 unit remaining, and we will be obliterating it shortly. On this side, I think we're probably too far away, and there's still a fair few enemy units fighting up on top of the walls. They are, however, surrounded by not Skaven slaves here, but clan rats. Well, clan rats and Skaven slaves, admittedly. Yeah, we've deployed 3 out of the 5 clan rats all on this side because we didn't have warp lightning here, and it really could have been useful. Frankly, I probably should have put the guy with the warp lightning over on this side rather than here, because here we deployed other stuff, but oh well. Anyway, in order to try to help out against those Warbear Riders, we've got the Gutter Runner Slingers who have repositioned themselves off of the wall. They were originally here, and are now firing into the flanks of those Warbear Riders, or at least over the heads of those Skaven slaves, and we're going to do the same thing with the other unit of Gutter Runner Slingers. A, to apply the poison, and B, to apply at least a little bit of damage. Admittedly, Gutter Runners sadly don't do a lot, well, Slingers, and don't do a lot of armor-piercing weapon damage, or missile damage. So the likelihood of them actually severely damaging the Warbear Riders is not super high. But it does depend on how long these guys are in the fight. They still have many a Skaven slave to attempt to break through, and that's just not happening. Boris Ursus has similarly broken through the gate together with his trusty Patriarch, also on the bear. Frankly, the AI should have kept the Patriarch and Boris together with their Warbear Riders and fought together. Probably would have made this considerably more difficult. But here we have Plague Monks surrounding them, and they should be able to tear through the Patriarch eventually, especially with their high melee attack, though their lack of armor-piercing damage will similarly be at least something of a problem. Warbear Riders, what the heck? Okay, camera went weird for a second. Warbear Riders are down to about 30% and 50% of their HP. They've cut through 200 and 130 rats so far. But that's just nowhere near enough, and we got more rats coming in from the other walls, and we can continue to reinforce as needed. Frankly, we should probably provide a little bit more support by having the Plague Claws fire away. And yes, I'm sure they'll kill many a clan rat and Skaven slave, but for every shot that lands and hits a Warbear Rider, it's worth killing a few dozen of our own clan rats and Skaven slaves. And we do have more where that came from after all. And there we go. Now the Warbear Riders are definitely in trouble. One of them is in by our blood by the looks of it, and is down to 20% of their HP. One of the units of Slingers is unfortunately run out of ammunition at this point, but the other one is still slinging away. The balance of power shifts to 80% in our favor, and with 1 unit of Warbear Riders out, the other is activated by our blood. The Patriarch has been severely damaged, and looks like he and Boris Ursus will give up as well. And with that, the battle is ours. Looks like all we needed here to defend was those piles of Skaven slaves. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. If we had the food generation to spare, I'd probably get a few more of these just Skaven slave pile armies in a few settlements just to provide the bonus control, but at the current time we need the food more, although that won't always be the case, and eventually we'll be able to do that. And especially some of our money-making provinces will probably warrant a couple of administrative lords, but we'll see. Anyway, looks like By Our Blood has run out of time, and with that, the enemy army is out of time as well. We're going to do our best to chase down every single unit that, well, I guess isn't bear-mounted, and all the enemy infantry should here be destroyed. A very nice fight, and just generally speaking, always nice to see a defensive siege, which are so rare. Ooh, there we go. Isn't it beautiful? Even the mighty warbears brought low by sheer numbers. And one of the units was destroyed outright. They were rank 9, so I guess these were the starting units that Boris had, at least those that survived. And yeah, he's got that Zargard as well, so it makes sense. He did escape together with his Patriarch and the warbears, as we just didn't have the damage to actually bring them down. But maybe we can chase them down immediately after. Sell off. Alright, oh, the unhappy populace, that's not great, but, well, we're committed now. It's only 5 turns, I guess, but, okay, we'll have to be really careful in terms of keeping an eye on that and maybe keep our food in decent shape in that amount of time. Anyway, I obey, yes. Alright, and a red dead construction cost reduction, which is needed for, well, right now. And next tech. We don't have enough rat force, but we've gotten a decent amount of a research surplus. I believe somebody said in the comments of a last episode or so that monstrous abominations, that if you get this, I think it was monstrous abominations, or was it monstrous plans? Something lets you get the, what are they called? I don't remember. The ancillaries that allow you to get additional research to start dropping. And if that's the case, we may as well move towards these. And besides, it kind of also makes sense. This is Clan Moulder, and they should have the Clan Moulder aspect of the tech tree up and unlocked sooner. Makes sense to me. Anyway, you're gonna go to Navkazi. And we'll move right through it. We are not going to... Okay, we'll auto-resolve this. And we will... You know, I don't think we need to waste 2 turns now. We'll just occupy it at tier 1. I don't want to waste the food on this. Not in this place. There's no reason to. And... yeah, that's fine. He can't reach plus in 1 turn anyway. Alright, then I will ignore that. Anyway, let's see. With Boris versus Gun... Oh, what's his defeat rate again? Red Dead, leadership when fighting against warriors of chaos. Fine, but nothing crazy. Now, giant pile of Skaven slaves. I fear that you wouldn't be able to kill off Boris, so... What, do we push you this way? Ah, there's Tzarina Katarin. Oh, these KISLEVites. It's almost like they're working together. Well, Yevegka is gonna get destroyed, but, well, it is what it is. Alright, go this way. I wonder if she'll sack it or raise it, and... Yeah, she went through this territory, but at least these guys aren't at war. Boris went through this territory, so they were at war with, and the Ruin to get towards us. It does make sense, but it is still tremendously rude. If we had enough money, I'd give you another unit and then just send you forth. A single unit of Natty Bebo's sharpshooters would probably allow you to defeat Boris's army. I assume he's moved all the way back to Khazarla. You know what? Can we get vision of it? Go here. Yeah, he's right back in Khazarla and probably healing up nicely. Is it worth the expenditure, though? It's a big expenditure. I will think about it. Let's see what else we have to do before I have to stop thinking about it. Thankful, you are damaged. You remain damaged. You need to heal. Unfortunately, I'm willing to bet that... Well, actually, maybe this will be auto-resolvable. You will maybe go first? Still don't know where their main stack is, and I'm still concerned about it. And wait, no. Thankful, see if you can reinforce. Actually, can you reinforce? I think so. And go here. And we'll have to raise the place because we'll want to... You still heal here? Yes. We'll want to get it up and running at tier 3. Well, actually, if raising actually gives us value. Oh! It'll still kill the clan. Really? This game? Okay, well, we're gonna have to manually fight it then real quick. We'll deal with that in a second. Trare and Tech Thief. Okay, Tech Thief, you have 4 turns, but I think you need to start moving, though. But I'm now wondering who it is we would be stealing tech from. I guess we'll find out. And go on. These guys are... oh, they're the Vassal of Valkia. I mean, we could set up the... If we don't attack them, we could set up the undercities here and then allow them to propagate. Maybe that's the better way to do it. It'll eventually propagate to all this while we take all of this territory and then link up with Clan Gritus. I think that's the way. Alrighty, the rest of this can be ignored, but what shouldn't be ignored is the building. Well, those buildings that need to be builded. Oh, and the public order is going to be horrendous now because of this debuff. What do we have here? -6. And that's with this. Ugh. I mean, even if a rebellion happens, it won't, you know, screw us over because no rebellion can deal with our garrison. But nonetheless, still kind of costly, eh? I'm almost tempted to say we get rid of the breeding pit here and replace it with another public order building. Frankly, it needs to happen in this place as well. This is going to be a -60 growth, which is a fairly considerable amount, but we won't be able to afford this for a while anyway. Yeah, frankly, maybe since we won't be able to afford it for a while, we'll demolish both buildings and then just replace them with public order. You're kind of in the same position. Replace the Rattling Warrens out of Kasserk for another public order building. It'll still generate cash. Volksgrad, we do need to upgrade you, but I think we cannot afford to. But the Overseer's Lookout at Prague is a good option. And, I mean, we will want the Arcane Generators as well, since we are collecting money here. Volksgrad, you know what, I think we'll invest in upgrading it. It is far enough away that Tzarina Katarin shouldn't be attacking it, though I'm a little bit salty that she's going to go for Yevek. Yeah, I was wondering whether we could get enough of these guys to defend it, but I don't think so. Have some okay stuff in there, but I really doubt it. And then we'd have a bunch of units that would have to be deleted, and I don't like that either. Actually, speaking of, I wanted to get you 2 more Brood Horrors. What's the likelihood that she actually goes at... Oh, yeah, we're in March stance. She might actually go after you. I should have maybe kept you in ambush stance. Alright, well, you know what's going to change then? We're going to disband you. And then we're going to give you another Brood Horror. That was always going to happen. I was planning originally to give you some items, an enchanted item. Well, let's get you Scalm, I guess? Fireball. Spotter Spyglass. Yeah, I get the Spotter Spyglass. We'll probably replace it with a Scalm later, but just in case you die here, I don't want to waste the Scalm, you know what I mean? And we could, in theory, upgrade these guys now. There wasn't really much sense in keeping the Night Runners. Eventually, they would have, you know, they become veterans and... you know what, keep them for now. I don't know, it feels more loreful to some degree to keep the weaker units. Anyway, let's do this. So this still has to be done because the game is being obnoxious. Fight, well, okay, just once again. Yeah, fine. Alright, fight battle. I'll just max speed through it. Well, we actually do have to wait until Thanquol gets onto the battlefield, because we'll probably need his units to actually dish out the damage, because this is just a giant pile of Skaven slaves, and I don't really want to waste, like, 2,000 of them to kill off this, because we'll need those 2,000 to be, you know, wasted against the enemy main stack when we run into them. So, fortunately, though, it should be pretty quick. And, okay, you guys all move back here. I wonder if they will actually attempt to move towards us. I guess we'll find out. Pile of Skaven slaves, clan rats, and dogs. I'm behind them, and then start deployment, and max speed. Will they move? They will not move, meaning we are free to move forward a little bit until the artillery arrive. We got 132 seconds. Good. Alright. Oh, well, that was 1 minute and 32 seconds, whatever. Close enough. Alright, doggos, I'd like you to get around and then go into this place, into that little copse of trees. Alright, and we'll preserve the units by doing this. Alright, so you guys are badly hurt. Just all of you get off the battlefield. We don't need you. You're kind of in the way. It'll be easier to command this without you in the way there. You guys may see some use, so we'll keep you back here, but it's the artillery that we really want. Alright, artillery, a couple of range units, and you as well. Who did I forget? Oh, I forgot you too. Alright, you guys go here. Turn off skirmish mode, turn off skirmish mode, turn off skirmish mode. What's the range on the arty? Not enough. Alright, well, as soon as they're in place, we'll move everybody out. Like so. A water resolve. Alright, fine. You just directly target the marauders, you directly target these marauders, and then you guys move forward a teensy bit more. And you maybe target the... I'll target the Marauders as well. And then everybody but you can go forward. Alright, Thankful, you're pretty badly damaged, and so are you, so you guys can keep back. You can stay forward, though. And Doggos, you're going to get ready to move on in as soon as the enemy starts moving. There we go. Max speed is working. Eventually, they will actually move, I imagine. There we go. Alright, now speed it up. Dogs move. We'll summon rats here to distract the enemy, and speed it back up. Alrighty, and you guys, well, actually, use you to annoy the enemy in a bit. Alright, and we will use you two to kill off, well, actually, you're fine as you are. Retarget the range unit, and go after those Norscan Warhounds. You go back here. Do we need to cast anything? Guess we could do a Death Frenzy. Oh, and hey, don't charge through it. Well, actually, you could go kill the Marauder Chieftain. Alright, you know what? Let's still go use the Death Frenzy, and hopefully you don't screw us over. Oh! They actually smashed into the Avalanche Mortars. I didn't realize that. Won't matter, but, you know, principle of the thing and all that. And get some more summons in the way, and there we go. Speed it back up to max. Alright, then, I'm just wanting the artillery to do all the work here, which is why I'm not sending in the Skaven slaves as yet. Alright, there we go. Should be good now. Heroes go. Hero good. Skaven slaves go after the enemy range units. And our own range units can go after the enemy range units as well. Wait, it's going to target you, whatever. Alright, no, don't go where the artillery will kill you. And then you too. Go after this. Alright, artillery, looking good, looking good. Switch targets to this unit, and then you guys back off. Let the range units go to work. Ah! No. They're moving back into melee, and thus we need to stop our units lest they kill a lot of our own units. Alright, speed back up, and there we go. Completely necessary. Auto-resolve, completely necessary. 149 losses, and frankly, if I hadn't, you know, sped it up for most of the battle, that could have been reduced to effectively nothing. But at least this way, since we don't know once again where their main stack is, if it attacks us next turn, we won't have to, you know, get killed by it. Which would be swell. Alright, now I guess we'll want to raise the place so that we can immediately build the gold mine at tier 3, because we'll want to start collecting the money. Fix our money situation. We now have enough territory to be getting on with in terms of kicking off that econ and thus getting our armies a little bit more elite. Granted, I mean, lore-wise, it makes sense to be using millions upon millions of Skaven slaves. But anyway, yeah, we'll just raise this and then we'll colonize the next turn. So raise and stop moving, okay. Good. And you can channel, you'll suffer no attrition apparently, because... Why don't you suffer attrition here? Okay, well, good for you. You will heal up and wait. What do we have here? Warpstone tokens. Okay, you know what? I don't like the idea of the additional miscast right now. I do like the idea of Musk of Fear and Inspiring Presence, though. We'll start with Inspiring Presence. And the Chieftain, go for training. Not that we really care about that in terms of the Skaven slaves. Alright, that looks good. Now we can end the turn and see what the enemy does. Well, assuming that we don't send Trare after these guys. I bow only to the bear. Yeah, just stay here. All good. Keep the public order. I really... We could, once again, if we summon these guys, but I just didn't want to spend the cash, and continue spend the cash every turn. Building upgrades, undercities, and Diplo, and then we end the turn. Ah, Lamian Sisterhood, beautiful. And non-aggression pact, no, you're not getting any money. Just do the trade agreement. Alright, that's another potential vampiric ally late into the game. Well, hopefully later. Confederation is good. Vlad, I would really like that defensive alliance with you, but it ain't happening, eh? Alright, we're just gonna have to wait on that one then. Let's now end the turn and see whether Tzarina Katarin goes for Yvedka or tries to wipe out Krakronid's army. She's never going to get a better chance because he's in March stance, and that means it's gonna be a very dangerous fight. Go. All right, there it is. And we're going to need the menaces below here. And just like Boris, she's got decent... Oh, right, she's got the doubling up of the regiments of renown. That's her ability. And it's a really good one. I enjoyed her campaign so much just because of that, because you can build the entire army around a couple of copies of a regiment of renown. Anyway, fight time. Go. Fight kill indeed, little guy. Fight kill indeed. It does seem that the Master Assassins are always rats of few words. Anyway, here we go. Should be a pretty tough fight. We're in March stance and thus going to be severely debilitated, as all of our units will be very tired and all their stats will be significantly debuffed because of it. On the bright side, though, we do have something going for us, namely that we've deployed all of our army all the way on one side of the enemy army. It's the big advantage of having an army that has full Vanguard deployment as well as range capabilities, or as a ranged Vanguard deployment army. We should be able to bring down a significant portion of the enemy before the rest of the enemy army slowly wanders over here, especially the slowest elements of their army being infantry. Or rather, most of their army being made up of infantry, and their 30 move speed is just not enough. Anyway, we start the battle by focusing down one of the Boydanov's Brawlers, a regiment of renowned Streltsy, as well as the unit of Ice Guard. We've summoned a unit of Clan Rats via the Menace below to get in the enemy's way, partly to prevent them from running, and partly to sort of force the range units like those Ice Guard towards us rather than away, where the Shuriken and the Slingers can focus them down. That said, looks like the enemy will send its fast movers to try to stem the tide, or, I don't know, reduce the damage somewhat, although they're going to take a lot of hits fairly quickly, both from Shuriken and from the Slingers. Although they are protected by a fair bit by the looks of it by the tree line. Anyway, here come the charge of the Winged Lancers. Man, we had a single unit of Winged Lancers in Tzarina Katarin's army in her own campaign for the longest time, and they did so much work, like a shockingly good amount of work. Here, though, they do no such thing as they get brought down and obliterated to a man. The Ice Guard are finished. The Boydanov's Brawlers are in trouble or otherwise destroyed as well. In fact, I don't see them, so I think they have been destroyed. At least the first one has, and so have the Kossovite archers. The rest of the enemy army is still arriving, and the other benefit of deploying like this is that we can summon Clan Rats in the middle of the enemy army, once again separating any enemy units that actually seek to move towards us. Fighting sneakily. Once again, Skaven are not going to be fighting fair. We could make this deployment even nastier once we have that Eshin Sorcerer, as we can further slow down the enemy army. Eventually. For now, though, just keep working. Those units of the Watchmen in the Night try to move towards us, but get torn to shreds. Those twin blades of theirs being useless, although I do really like the unit. Enjoyed using 2 of them in the Tzarina Katarin campaign as well. Anyway, with the enemy army severely damaged, having lost about half of their numbers, the balance of power shifts in our favor, despite the fact that we have taken comparatively little damage so far. Our units have mostly been taking damage right now, or just generally over the course of the battle, from Tzarina Katarin's spellwork. Like so. Ice Storm comes down, or Hailstorm comes down, dishing out a decent bit of damage to our regular Eshin Triads. And interesting that she used that on the Eshin Triads, the real unit, and not the clone unit, even though they were right beside each other. Though I'm pretty sure the AI doesn't actually recognize the difference between a real unit and a fake unit. It cheats, but I don't think it cheats with regards to that. Just a coincidence, I suppose. An annoying coincidence, but anyway. Obviously, our Brood Horrors are in the middle of the enemy army, trying to apply that toxic venom to everybody that they can. Our units of shuriken-chucking Night Runners and Gutter Runners have also moved around the enemy's flanks, though by the looks of it, we're out of shuriken at this point, and frankly, are rapidly running out of sling ammunition as well. The slings are going to start targeting Tzarina Katarin herself, as the rest of her army is now bogged down. trying to fight the summoned clan rats and the brood horrors and whatever other things are here. More importantly, and most of it is not units that are from our main army. And thus damage to them shouldn't matter over much. Alright, looks like Tzarina Katarin activates. I forget what the name of the ability is, but she does have that bound ability, which can do a fair bit of damage. Some kind of ice explosion. But all good. Rockets from our engineer come down on the enemy. I still don't like that net effect, but whatever. And the Eshin Triads, the real Eshin Triads, have made their way back into the fray, together with, I don't know, I guess the remnants of their doppelganger, though I do imagine that they have run out of time at this point, the fake ones, I mean. Another hailstorm comes down from Tzarina Katarin, who has lost about 30% of her HP. We have been firing away at her with our slings for, I don't know, like 2 minutes straight. But she only took about 30% of her HP and damage because, again, the slings don't have a lot of armor piercing on them, and the trees were protecting her at the same time as well. If we had not run out of shuriken, it would have been better that way. Anyway, now she's booking it on out of there. All of the slingers will try to target her as she runs. We activate ballistics calibration for a second and final time to get just that little extra bit of damage as we will try to chase her down. The rest of her army is dead. A couple of doom rockets follow her. And, oh, somebody said that the... No, you know, that's still pretty horrific. I mean, I'm talking about the... I was trying to sit on the throne on top of the frostworm and trying to cast. Or making a speech up there. Anyway. The frostworm may be fast, but not fast enough, as brood horrors are insanely quick. They will catch up, and Tzarina Katarin will be brought down. Lovely. And so will, I believe, the rest of her army. I don't think any of the infantry are going to be escaping the Knight and Gutter Runners, and with that, her army will be completely destroyed. Beautiful work from the Eshin and Moulder army. Alrighty, very, very nice. I admit I was a little bit worried going into the fight based on our march stance, but the way that we deployed and were able to rip apart about a third of the enemy army before the rest of the enemy army closed the distance really allowed us to make the most of our vanguard deployment and stalking. And of course the concealment bombs meant that we were able to dodge a lot of enemy fire and reposition ourselves as well we could. Plus our vanguard deployment meant that we knocked out that critical unit of Ice Guard and a few other key units as well. Very, very nice. And the entire army destroyed at that completely. Plus, plenty of cash for our trouble, decent amount of food. I'm very happy with the result. Sell off. Alright, another Banner of Eternal Flame. Ice Load Crusher gives us bonus campaign movement range, terror against KISLEV, and reduction in attrition faction-wide. Okay, so at least there it has some useful aspects to it. We're currently on the Rat Ogre cluster, eh? Or wait, no, are we? Let me just see here. Have we reached the Rat Ogre cluster, or are we near it? What's our current... Growth Juice plus 500, Wolf Rats cluster. So no, we haven't reached it yet. Again, I want to do the Mutant Rat Ogre cluster this time rather than the Help It A-Bomb cluster, because we have plenty of that to be getting on with. Anyway, Mr. Throt, you are just out of range, but it is what it is. Go into raiding stance and then move towards Plusk. In enemy territory, of course. And of Kazi, how are you doing, Public Order Rise? Did I forget to? I did not forget to. You're fine. Oh, I should have upgraded this while Throt was there. Yeah, we'll do it next turn. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Then we will use Mr. I guess Skittis to get the Monolith of Beorg. Ooh, it's gonna hurt our food supply, but I think we still want it at tier 3. Although, actually, if we get it up to tier 2... Actually, we can pretty much immediately upgrade it anyway, thanks to our massive growth. We can just set... And maybe 2 so that we can build... Well, it'll be maybe worth it. Alright, screw it. You're gonna take this. We will take it at tier 2. 3 will put us down to yellow, which I don't want. Let's do 2. Alright, and then it won't allow us to immediately has 65, and this is what I wanted to build immediately. The other stuff is non-critical. Alright. And I guess we'll want to upgrade the Overseer's Lookout here as well. We could upgrade the Nest Lair here, or, I mean, we will want to upgrade this as well, but I still think that we should go for you. So, go for efficient planning. And the control. We'll still need to deal with all of that. It's still going to be a fairly big problem. You are going to do the same thing and build a control building. I believe we deleted these two for more control buildings everywhere. I want to max out the control for a number of reasons. Also got to remember that in SFO, once every province that's 100% is minus 1% upkeep for own armies faction-wide in owned territory. And even when you're playing aggressive, you're in your own territory 90% of the time. So, yeah. Anyway, well, except when you're raiding, I guess, but shut up. So we are good. Your public order is fine. Okay, you know what? Let's take a look at it in order. You're fine, at least for now. I'd love to upgrade you. Yeah, do it. Yevegka seems to be reasonably safe now. These guys do have another army running around, but maybe we can catch them. Not so aware. Now let's see if we can't go down to Bolgsgrad. And this time we're not, oh. You're not at war with them. Okay, so I'm just gonna ignore you for now. Let's also level up Mr. Kronid. You have only the 1 point, but that gives you stand or die, which is very, very nice. Nobody's rank 7 yet. Anyway, it's taken a while to get our troop experience up and running. Replenish troops, Trixie, Sneaky, anything here that we want? You know what, let's maybe, well, yeah, let's get Trixie. 20% spell resistance is a lot, and while it's unlikely that we get hit by too many magics from the enemy, it can happen, and I'd rather not risk it. You are trying to move towards extra powder. Let's get you Sapper until we get that. There we go. Army will continue on. Lovely. All right, public order here is, well, I'm not fine, but it's all right. You're in efficient planning, and what we need here is public order and public order. Taskmasters platforms everywhere. Don't upgrade this thing. Upgrade the furs and the food, however, and we can get rid of the food here because we'll replace it with a generator and a construction cavern, presumably. It's a bit of a waste to build food buildings in main territories. All right, you're good, at least for now. We're at minus 17k, eh? Maybe I should have put you into raiding stance, but it's too late. Too late indeed. Not 17k, 1700, but you know what I mean. And you. I guess we'll proceed to Krasund. If you're going this way, if we maybe attack these guys from 2 directions at once, we can more or less wipe them out. I would like to get an army here. The thing is, we still need to deal with Krakadrak and the Krakar Ravensvak. They're going to get stronger and stronger. Especially if our Norscan friends aren't able to wipe them out. Not how much are you... Oh, you're willing to give us 10k. Maybe after we take Krasund, we just peace out with them. Eventually, they'll probably re-betray us, but maybe we don't care about that. I also like to get a trade agreement going with you. You are currently at war with Nagrippers. I don't know who that is, or where they are. It might be worth it to... Oh, huh. Because we can't ask to join the war, that's a little bit annoying. Nah. Alright. Well, then I guess we won't. Kholek can trade with us, but we can't get his ally to do so at the current time. Alright, that's fine. Let's see if anybody else needs to move. Treyer is stuck where he is for now, and has that public order +5, so good. Thankful. I mean... we could risk moving you at least a little bit forward. You need to heal, and Krasund is a capital settlement. Oh, wait, no it isn't. It's their capital, but it isn't a capital, so you should actually be able to take it with decent ease. And I'm going to risk Skidus dying, so you just move forward as far as you can. And hopefully we can take it out next turn. Or immediately occupy it, tier, whatever. Anyway, Tech Thief. We're gonna get you to... I guess spread the Undercity here. Just to get it on cooldown or expand the Under Empire. Go for it. And we can continue on towards the Chaos Source. Just gotta make sure that Valkia doesn't Kate us. Granted, she's not really making good use of these territories. But I'll think about it, as I do. Anyway, it's another end turn, unless I'm mistaken, so we can skip. Wait, Treur, do you have Inspiring Presence? Yes, you do. Had to double check. Oh, in fact, do you want to get... well, you already have the basic version of Chain Lightning, so you're fine, or Warp Lightning, rather. End turn. Yes, wait, what are we at in terms of Rat Force? 125. How much do we need to save up? The next thing that we wanted to get was either Warp Marrow Infusion for the upkeep reduction. Oh, right, there's Hellpit Breeding Efficiency. That 75% casualty suffered from all attrition reduction is really quite nice, you gotta admit. Oh, actually, no, Market Conspiracies is the best one. Alright, so we're going Market Conspiracies next in 3 turns? 3 or 4 turns? Something turns? Turns, and turn. Alright, Master Mason, Constructor, another Bell Polisher, always nice, right? Expires, Scheme of Doom, and ooh, Dominating Scheme. Oh, these are both really, really good. Oh, I did not... I wonder how long Dominating Scheme has been up and running. Well, either way, we need to use this first to counteract the public order losses that we're suffering, even though this will mean another 5... but yeah, use this. Dominating Scheme. It's too much of a debuff right now. Alrighty, and then in 5 turns when this is up again, we'll go for the Scheme of Doom to get that other Super Undercity, most likely Adult Dwarf, unless I'm mistaken. Anyway, Thankful, you're going to proceed to Krazund. And Skittis, you're just fine. Alright, you can auto-resolve this time? Yes, you can. Auto-resolve it. Hey, a Book of Assure, very nice find. And... do we send Skittis to then colonize it, maybe? And colonize it at a higher tier? This will give us another turn to do this, and then... yeah, fine. Raise. Free Book of Assure for Thankful, that's pretty nice. And, oh, now you're going to suffer attrition again for the love of... well, either way. Skittis, you're going to go here. Why is it the sword rather than immediate occupation? Odd. And colonize the place. I guess, again, it's tier 2. This is a single settlement, which is kind of a problem right now. Yeah, we'll need to build a Taskmaster's platform, or else it'll, since it's solo until we take these territories out, it'll need to deal with it itself. Anyway, Taskmaster's platform. There we are. Alright, you guys stay here. You know what, maybe I should have done that the other way around and moved Skittis so that we could have him not suffer attrition, or Thankful not suffer attrition, rather. But it is what it is. You can get Root Marcher as well. And we'll get you that Council Guard, buddy, don't you worry. Throt the Unclean. You proceeding to... don't tell me these guys are gonna go... Froststorm. Don't tell me they're gonna go here and take our territory. Throt, go to Plusk. Oh, sec value is pretty high. Surprisingly high. Auto-resolve. Let's see what we got in terms of 3.6k raise value. Huh. I... think that maybe we raise it. If we sack it, we'll have to deal with the province instability, though we're kind of having to deal with it anyway. If we sack it, though, we won't have to waste a turn. So I guess we'll just deal with the instability. Yeah, sack it. And what's the instability going to be at, I wonder? Hopefully it doesn't immediately rebel, but we'll see. Loot and occupy. At tier 1. Alright, minus 28, but not for long. This will take 2 turns. We'll need to, you know what, upgrade this place. And then a Trickster's Helm. Hello, ward save, melee defense, and armor, and barrier. Is that better than 40 armor? Probably. Probably, so I'm gonna say go for the Trickster's Helm. Alright, it's a significant loss in armor, but it's fine. I hope it's fine. Anyway, we'll see. What's your ward save at now? At 43%? Yeah, that's pretty good. And it's pretty darn good with the regen and all that, even with the loss of armor. Alright, Mr. Kronid, you... these guys moved away again? You little cowards, every time we attempt an ambush. Maybe they're trying to do the same maneuver that... no, go to regular stance. Maybe they're trying to do the same maneuver that... Tzarina Katarin did. Pyrrhic victory? Okay, this means we'll have to manually fight this, won't it? Alright, fine, fair enough. We'll manually fight that in a second. Let's see. Tech Thief. I mean, there's still enough troops to maybe be worth fighting. You need to fight the Chaos... find the Chaos Dwarfs, and then find another territory to steal tech from. There's gotta be somebody out here, right? There's the Disciples of Hashut. Alright, so, to get them to not hate us, Disciples of Hashut, you do have an aversion to us. You're currently at war with the Gragamugar camp. Gragamugar clan, rather. Join your war. It won't be enough to get any non-aggression pact, but maybe this will be okay. Alright, well, obviously we won't be stealing tech from them, much as it feels appropriate to do so. I guess we'll go down here and start annoying some of the Chaos Door. Oh, wow, let's see. You might actually have to steal tech from Valkia's minion a couple times. We might not have a choice. Oh, well. Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I'd kill the Chaos Dwarfs, it's just that I feel like... Oh, you jerkos! Now they've taken this territory. Okay. Well... I wonder if we can cause the place to rebel and then take it ourselves. Well, we'll deal with it when we can. For now, we can skip the rest of this. We can take a quick look at building. You're fine, your public order's okay. You... wait. These need to be upgraded to the next tier, so upgrade and upgrade. They will generate us money still. And control. You, Svedora, I'd love to upgrade, but I think... I mean, it's not that steep. Yeah, fine, let's upgrade this place. Alright, Eastern Oblast. You're being upgraded, so you're both fine. We could upgrade these things, they're fairly cheap. They do cost us a little bit of control, but it should be okay. And then here... You know what? Build the alarm tunnel temporarily, but this place is kind of exposed, so I don't trust it. You are able to now collect income. It's not much, but, you know, better than nothing. And then let's upgrade Supuxi. Wait, if this goes to tier 3, we can build a generator. There's just a little bit of extra cash. This place will give us money and... Oh, additional growth juice per turn. Never mind. Alright, fine. We'll start with Supuxi then. And then we will still want to upgrade you. Alright, looking good. What about you? Gormadni Idol, you are... No, Gormadni Hold. I don't know why I said Idol. You can be upgraded. And we can immediately upgrade you, because we need the gold. And then to start collecting the income as soon as possible. In fact, maybe we start collecting it now? It's a little bit negative, but it's not so negative that it won't fix itself shortly. Alright, I think we're good there. And I forgot about the Ropsels. Oh, right. This place. Maybe I shouldn't have sacked it after all. Minus 45 now. Yeah, I see the issue, game. I certainly do. These guys aren't at war, are they? They're not. Alrighty, well, I guess we have no choice but to fight this, so let's fight this real quick. Do we need the Banner of Eternal Flame here? Do these guys have any flame weakness on them? They don't, meaning this gives us a little bit of extra base weapon damage. Sure, go. Alrighty, here we go. Only a 3/4 of a stack raid against us here, but I mean, if we could fight it manually, we could have fought it manually, but we may as well just fight it cinematically as well. I don't think anybody's going to be complaining about an extra cinematic. Regardless of it being a smaller army, especially since we have to fight the battle anyway. Got to reduce those casualties. No, we certainly can't trust the auto-resolve. Anyway, the enemy army or the enemy units not protected by the trees, the Cossars with spears get obliterated in a couple of seconds. It's going to take a little bit longer to work through the armored Cossars, especially the non-great weapon variants with sword and board and that bi-directional shielding of theirs, but we'll get through them eventually. Now, we've got in this particular army the 3 brood horrors and the 3 assassins. Basically each assassin has a pet brood horror that moves with them, and here we'll intercept the enemy snow leopards as they move towards our battle lines and hopefully destroy them reasonably quick. We summon over on the right flank our clone unit or decoy unit of Ixis Triads while we focus down the enemy snow leopards and all those units of war sleds. I do love the war sleds, but they are pretty darn fragile and will get obliterated. 84 move speed versus 80 move speed. It looks like the snow leopards will be caught as well. Alright, quick little charge from the Brood Horror, application of that toxic venom, and then we will back off so we don't kill it with our own units. It looks like the enemy army is down to the dregs now. only their right flank remaining. Similar to the fight against Tzarina Katarin, we deployed on more or less one side of the enemy army, such that we could dish out massive damage to part of it, before the other part was able to contribute overmuch, and it's a tried and true tactic that this army will continue to employ. Alright, all the brood horrors have joined the fray now, applying that toxic venom to all the Kossars, armored and unarmored alike. Our units of summoned clan rats are also pinning them in place. Another rocket will come down from our engineer, and with that, the battle is ours. The enemies shatter, and the settlement, relatively easily, is ours. Lovely. Alright, there we go. No problem at all. At least this way we preserved our units. Oh wow, we can get 2.9k out of sacking it. But this is part of our territory, meaning we probably shouldn't. Just loot and occupy it at level 1 to... Well, I mean, I guess if we raise it and then take it again, like colonize it next turn. Yeah, fine, raise it. We took no damage after all. And then channel. Oh! Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, watch this guy immediately occupied. Well then we're gonna have to betray you if you do that, because please don't do that. Oh, I forgot that these guys are here. Any chance that we could get you to declare war on the ice court there? Minus 21. Yeah, you can never get the AI to do anything. Alright, fair enough. We'll just hope that they don't immediately occupy it. Damn AI. Yeah, this is the problem with allying with AI. Just end up competing for territory because the AI is useless, but it will opportunistically take the territories that you end up working for. But that's my fault for not checking, or not remembering that that thing was there. Anyway, don't bother building anything here, at least not right now. Although, wait, you know what? Build the Rattling Warrens for a little bit of faster growth, since we've had to deal with that. Alrighty, and then the rest of this stuff I think is not worth upgrading at the current time, at least not for a few turns. Alright, sort of a turn. Building upgrades, undercity upgrade, we have 65, alright, and end the turn again. Let's see if anybody attacks. Alright, the menace below, researching, growth of that batch available, nearing to where we need to be now. They did not occupy it. Good. Alright, you, Crocronid, go and immediately colonize it. Just take it a tier 1, it doesn't matter. I don't want to spend the food on it right now. And then we'll upgrade you, and then we will upgrade the slaughter factory. Fantastic. Sounds cornate to me. Oh, it has a port here. That's good, because we can then immediately grab that sea corpse. Eastern Oblast secured. Let's get you into efficient planning, at least for now. Lovely. And hey, our income is positive. Alright. And just a matter of time now until the positivity grows. Stay positive, guys. Anyway, Throt. Can you catch Pavla Bondarenko? Give it a try. Is it going to be a repeat of the Beastman? No ambush. Bloody heck. Alright, fine. And you're gonna move way too far away. And you can't ambush, I take it? Oh, you can ambush. Alright, stay here. Now let's see if we can take them out next turn. It's not like they can take Sinisa, so we should be good in that regard. Skittus and... Okay, Trary, you're fine where you are. Thankful. Now here's the question. Oh, where are you going?
So be it.
Oh, they've declared war on these guys now. Damn.
Execute.
And the reason that that's bad is because we have taken this for a reason. We want that gem mine, which will generate a lot of money, but thus we will want the entire province. And frankly, because there's exotic animals here, we wanted more of the province. All right, well, I think that means we have to peace out with you. Give us your 9.5k.
To be ripped to shreds.
Like so. And that means that we can't move Thanquol to deal with either dwarfs or the whoever we were going to deal with. Thanquol, you're heavily damaged. Technically, you're not at war with these guys. What if we can reach Kirkvrag in one turn? Go here. It's close to the edge of the province. Valkia can't reach it in one turn either, but we have to make sure that we can reach it in turn. You know what? Let's move you here. We're not at war with these guys. Do they have a stack there? They do not. Alright, let's move you in. At least we should be able to besiege it. Thankful. Then I think we can move you here and march stance and besiege it. I'm a little bit worried about Valkia moving past it to Gulrock's lair, but... well, if we have to kill Valkia, we have to kill Valkia. We'll see. We will see. Alright, the rest of that looks okay. We've got Trare. Okay, I already checked Trare, and then we got the Tech Thief. And Mr. Tech Thief, you... have to find somebody to steal tech from. I guess, okay, we will have to deal with you for at least one turn because we're nearly out of tech thievery. And hopefully you succeed now that I think about it. 61. Going down to 19. Okay, so it's not horrible. And technically, these guys don't have any, you know, agency because they're a part of Valkia's faction, so maybe we can keep doing that for a bit. While we move southward at least, let's get you block army. Should have gone for wound? I don't know. Then we should have 205 rat force, meaning we can go to tunnels again, and then grab that lovely upkeep reduction. We certainly need it. Market conspiracies. There's a lot of good stuff here. Finally gaining a decent amount of that. Then we have a little bit of money to spend. Now that we're positive, we can keep upgrading things slowly but surely. You... we could go for the... ooh, hello. We can go for another of the Taskmaster's platforms here. And there will be places where we'll be deleting Taskmaster's platforms, and okay, we'll need lots more Packmasters and just generally speaking hero capacities, so that'll happen, just not immediately. You're going in efficient planning, that's fine. Go for the giant fungi caverns now that we got the public order in a good place. Yetchich. I'm so salty about that. But anyway, let's upgrade the Warren there, and this can be deleted in favor of whatever it was that I was going to build, and we'll find out later. You are going to be upgraded. You, Siniza, we may as well upgrade you to tier 3 now. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but since we're not negative anymore, it's fine. And then here we can build the generator and... presumably the construction cavern, so we won't build anything there right now. Help It is fine until we can upgrade the 4th circle, and... Gates of Hell... ooh, we just need to rack up to 11,000 gold now to upgrade you to tier 5. How many turns is it going to take? 5 turns? Might do a expansionist planning just for that. Anyway, skip, and Diplo, and then end turn. Anything interesting here? No trade agreements, though River Dolgan and Bearsenling are close.
Enter then.
Man.
Are you after a drink? A fist fight?
We could do it by joining the war against the Bloody Sword, couldn't we? I could risk Skidus dying. Maybe it's worth it. It's money, and it's... wait, no. Oh no, we can't ask it to join the Bloody War. Damn you, vassal factions. Why are you like this? Defensive alliance with Clan Creepus is theoretically fine because we don't want to ally with them as yet.
Don't trust no fires.
They'll give us a vision of what's going on down here.
Yes.
You know what, maybe we'll wait until it's more money. Oh, actually, they're likely to die, so you know what, let's do this. Take the money in case they die and keep the vision. Don't bother confederating them. Because I don't really want the territory down there right now. I do want Clan Gritus's stuff, but only when they're ready. Gloomfang. I guess if we're not betraying you as yet, let's do the alliances with ya. 3.3k. And then we'll see. We may betray or we may... okay, you know what? Do this for now. It's more vision down here. I want to see what's going on with the KISLEVites. And this will also... I mean, it's only 2 territories. We could give them these 2 and then use them as an orc farm in case we need some of their stuff. I see these guys are doing okay. And frankly, these 2 territory settlements aren't, you know, crazy enough for us to be concerned about. We do want Erengrad, though, and I think Vitsi is these guys. Oh, it's not their capital. Troika is their capital. Huh. That's interesting. Maybe we can get this from them. Alright, well, that's lovely. But for now, well, let's end the turn. Oh, do we actually have time? You know what? I think we probably don't have the time. Alright, I think then this is probably going to be a pretty good place to call it. Ooh, you can get mutagenic elixirs for your... yes, you can get mutagenic elixirs for your units, and... don't need anything here. And don't need anything here. Mutagenic elixirs for the brood horrors. Anyway, as I was saying, this is a good place to call it, so I'm going to call it here. Next time we continue fighting the KISLEVites on all fronts that we're fighting them on. Still salty about this, but hopefully we can get it back from them. And probably try to claim some territories from the Bloody Sword, which will decide as to whether we betray Valkia and kill her or not. Granted, it's only one territory, but we shall see. The other option would be, of course, to just, blow it up with the with undercities. We can build the... There's a bomb thing here where it allows you to blow it up, right? Where is it here? None of this looks like a bomb. Underway Nexus, under Keep. I swear there's a bomb. Not you. Not you. Skaven army summoning, spy nests. There's some really good stuff in Undercities now, so do we really gotta start on that as well? We just need the money. Also, man, the Warpstone Refinery, it's missile strength for all of our weapons teams faction-wide, wins a magic power reserve capacity faction-wide, research rate. So much good Undercity stuff. And yeah, the Subterranean strip minus construction cost minus 5% for all buildings faction-wide, and there's another thing that is faction-wide as well. Enables Lightning Strike. Okay, I'm going to give these another read between the... wait, War Declared is on the side. No, that's not what I wanted. I thought there was like a Doom Sphere type of deal like you get in the deeps for the dwarfs. Well, either way. Undercity is definitely something we gotta do, but we'll deal with it later. Next time, more fighting, more empire growing, etc., etc., etc. So stay tuned for more rats. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.